It was a stormy night when Sarah received the call. The wind howled outside her small apartment, rattling the windows. She wrapped her arms around herself, a chill creeping up her spine. The phone rang, an unknown number. With a deep breath, she answered. Silence. Then, a raspy voice broke the quiet. "Sarah, I see you." Her heart raced. She glanced at the dark window. "Who is this?" "Someone who knows what you did." The words hung heavy in the air. Memories flooded back her reckless night out a few months ago. The accident, the screaming. She hadn't meant to drive drunk. She thought of the girl, the one who hadn't made it. Guilt gnawed at her. "Stop playing games," Sarah said, trying to sound brave. "I don't know who you are." A low chuckle echoed through the line. "Oh, but you do. You just don't want to remember." She hung up, shaking. It was probably a prank, but her mind raced with paranoia. She paced the room, glancing at the door, half expecting someone to burst in. The storm raged outside, thunder booming like a warning. Suddenly, the phone rang again. She hesitated, then answered. "What do you want?" "Just to talk," the voice whispered. "About that night." "I don't want to talk about it." "Too bad. It's time you faced the truth." The room seemed to grow colder, the shadows deeper. "Who are you?" she demanded. "I'm the one you left behind." She felt sick. The girl's face flickered in her mind, the haunting eyes that had stared into hers. You're dead." "Am I?" the voice taunted. "What if I'm closer than you think?" A knock on the door made her jump. She moved cautiously, peering through the peephole. Nothing but darkness. The knocking came again, more insistent this time. "Sarah." "Let me in," the voice from the phone called out, now sounding desperate. Her heart raced. "Go away." "Let me in. I'm cold. It's dark out here." With a burst of adrenaline, she ran to the window, pulling the curtain aside. She peered outside, and her breath caught. Standing beneath the flickering streetlight was a figure, drenched and pale, its eyes locked onto hers. "Please, let me in." Terror clawed at her throat. She stumbled back, glancing at her phone again. The call was still connected. "What do you want from me?" she shouted. "I want what you took from me," the voice hissed. "You owe me." Panic surged through her. She backed away from the window, searching for a way out of this nightmare. But the room felt like a trap, shadows creeping closer. She ran into the bathroom, locking the door behind her. "Sarah," the voice seeped under the door, chilling her to the bone. "You can't hide forever. You can't escape your guilt." The lights flickered. In the reflection of the mirror, she saw the figure outside, now standing at the window. It raised its hand, pressing against the glass, its breath fogging the surface. "Let me in." Sarah grabbed her phone, desperately trying to call 911. But the screen flashed no service. The figure's face twisted in anguish, and it mouthed words she couldn't hear. She turned to the door, adrenaline pushing her forward. With a swift motion, she flung it open, prepared to confront whatever was waiting, but the hallway was empty. The storm raged outside, the air thick with tension. Heart pounding, she stepped back into her living room. She froze. The figure stood in her apartment, water dripping from its clothes, eyes hollow and accusing. "You think you can forget me? Get out," she screamed, backing away. Make me. Make me." In a moment of clarity, Sarah remembered the girl's last moments, the regret, the helplessness. She felt the weight of her actions crash over her like a wave. "I'm sorry," she cried, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry." The figure's expression shifted, a flicker of sadness crossing its face. "You took my life, But you still have yours. You have to live with it. The storm outside grew louder, and the figure began to fade, its form becoming translucent. Remember me, Sarah. Always. With that, it vanished, leaving only the echo of its presence behind. Sarah sank to the floor, sobs racking her body. The phone lay forgotten in her hand. The call ended. The storm subsided, but her guilt remained, a haunting reminder of that fateful night. She would never forget.